It's the time for the package from China. Let's go. Okay, so let's charge it and just try it. The unfortunate thing is when it comes to these game systems, yeah, they're showing a controller on the box. And I wish they had sent me the complete version because I ordered that particular one. And yeah, finding a controller with a micro USB, it is possible, but if it's going to be working, that is not a problem. The display quality, it's the same that we have seen many times before, so there is nothing new over there. So when it comes to the volume, also this is not bad at all. When you're going to put them on 80, 90, 100%, the speaker is completely sounding rubbish. So that's a fact. And one thing I really hate about these things is the language settings, and the reason why is because, oh man, every single time you reset it, you need to choose the language, and the Chinese is on top, so it's absolutely horrible. But let's take a close look at the English game list. But it's kind of cool to see that we do have two different game lists, a different icon. We're going to get 8 games on this list and also on this. There's no difference over there. Okay, so when it comes to these game lists, I don't get it why they don't implement alphabetic order. You can see there are a lot of different games on here. A lot of classic ones. Spartan X is one of those things. I also wonder how is the overall emulation performance of this thing, because it's sometimes really bad to the point that the audio is completely messed up. But when they're saying 501, this is just the same shenanigans that we have seen before, with a lot of weird homebrew games, and don't forget they are slapping double games on this. But if you're going to be focusing on one particular title, you will see this title a couple of times in the list. And that is what they do. They did it back in the 80s, 90s with those really old school multi-game cards. Think about the 10,000 one and all that nonsense. But now they still keep doing it, only with lower numbers. Nevertheless, let's take a close look at some gameplay and actually see how good it is or how bad. Some of the games, even like Super Contra, has the option to have an implemented, like say cheat mode. Here you can see we're having different kind of cheats. So for example, I want to have the shotgun the full game. You can just actually boot up the game this way and just play it. I think it's a very cool, neat thing. I still also remember back in the day we had this with the multi-game cards. And if you, so far I understand, if you die, you will go to get yourself the spread shot again. I think there's also no possibility to get the different weapon. Here you can see we're still having the spread shot. And the other button I'm moving is the turbo, to make it even more cheesy, to make it even more cheating. We're gonna just go maximize spread shot mode. But a lot of familiar games like Street Fighter 2010, not the same stuff that we have seen before. Let's say with the official ones I've picked up from the local stores. The downside is when it comes to these, let's say, cheaper handhelds, recording is not a big problem because we can put the camera in the right angle, but playing it from a different viewing angle is absolutely a nightmare. So you need to be sitting in front of it all the freaking time. But so far I can tell is that we do overall have a very good performance. I do hear some interference. Actually playing with the analog stick, I really need to get used to it. It's a slider joystick, like with the PlayStation Portable. I'm not the biggest fan of those. I wish they added the one from the Nintendo Switch, because I can get really used to it very quickly. But so far so good. If I want to play one of my favorite games, I can just do it without any hassle. Everything is better than having a D-pad that is absolutely rubbish, because that is an overall problem with these cheap devices. We're going to get such a horrible experience with the D-pad that makes these things unplayable. Let's see if we're going to get to the end boss. No, no hugging. Cheating with the turbo button. Oh yeah. Oh no, stay away. No, no, no. Yeah. The next stage is a really freaking annoying stage. So one of the hit or miss with these things are the overall AV out quality, and oh man, this looks really bad. And of course I'm using it on an LCD, so this is not the best way to combine some AV output. But I don't know if the camera does it really justice, but looks really pixelated. But also it looks really bad when it comes to the letters and everything. And this is absolutely a great indication that the AV out signal that is from this thing is really bad. It's a little bit of a bummer because I have seen some licensed ones that have very crisp clear through the old school AV out. So this is just a moment that they are really trying to cheap out with some of these things. But what is cool, that we can actually play some games. The display itself doesn't do anything, but I just want to do a quick gameplay. Let's see if the battery is already charged. There we go. So if you bring this thing on vacation with you, it's pretty damn cool to play the games. There is no screen tearing going on. All the sound effects are here. I do wonder if I can adjust the volume. No, with this particular product I cannot adjust the volume at all. So it's a very cool feature. So if you're going to be unplugging it, it goes back to the display itself. Plug it back in and you can just play without it doing a lot of messing with settings. So the overall idea of this thing is pretty damn cool. We have seen it before, so it's nothing new. But if you have seen it, never seen it before, it's time to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell.